Bulginaka, do you know that cybercrime is becoming a growing problem in Fiji?
Cybercrime is defined as a crime in which a computer is the object of the crime, such as hacking and spamming.
Cybercrime is also cyberbullying and using fake profiles to cause panic and spreading false news.
If you're involved in this or know anyone who's committing...
In this bulletin, vaccine registration staff threatened. Road brings new lifeline to villages. And new fuel prices in effect.
From the studios of FBC Suva.
Ministry of Health staff carrying out COVID-19 vaccination registration are being threatened. This was highlighted by Permanent Secretary for Health Dr. James Fong, who has revealed that staff at various medical booths around Fiji are being intimidated by people with religious beliefs. Dipesh Kumar reports Dr. Fong had to call an urgent meeting with the heads of religious bodies seeking their help in keeping medical workers safe.
Can ask questions on.
These representatives from various faith-based organizations have been asked to tell their followers that the COVID-19 vaccine is not evil.
The vaccine cannot be satanic. It cannot be evil. I would really lose faith totally in humanity if it was an evil piece of mechanism that is being brought upon the world. By the same reason, we would have to go back and say, take off all the vaccines in the world. Let everybody die of smallpox. Let everybody die of measles.
Dr. Fong says people need to understand that vaccines have been in use for hundreds of years and have been enhanced by technology to be more effective.
In fact, the vaccines we're using now is a slightly new version of a way of doing a vaccine. There are other vaccines that are still being developed that are actually using the old traditional ways.
Why don't we put the religious leaders as frontline people in the vaccination process?
The Permanent Secretary has requested religious bodies to understand the fight against coronavirus and help protect the people of Fiji. He says the AstraZeneca vaccine does not pose any threats. Dipesh Kumar, FBC News.
A new road marks a new beginning for Namata villages in Tailevu. Villager Peniso Kia says the students had to cross two rivers to go to school, while the villagers had to carry their produce to the main road. Sanyani Boiler reports the road will ease these hardships.
The Fiji First government is the first to hear the requests made by these villagers to make their dreams come true.
We have been facing this issue for centuries. This is the first government to hear us, to make it a reality.
The village Turani Koro says they suffered for so many years, especially during high tide and rainy weather.
We used to carry our produce like fruits, coconuts for miles before we reached the bus stop. During rainy weather, we suffered a lot, especially our children. Sometimes they don't go to school. This will now be a thing of the past with the new road.
Prime Minister Vorengembaini Marama says the new road is one of the many investments by the government.
This is the government's way of building lives of Fijians. We listen to the voices, the concerns and the challenges of Fijians, and we work to ensure that no one is left behind.
This is one of the two new crossings that were commissioned earlier today, together with the new Namata Road here in Tailevu. This government-funded project costs $3 million. Sainiani Boiler, FBC News.
Fuel price increases are in effect as of this morning. The biggest hikes are on the price of LPG cylinders. A 12 kg cylinder will retail at $37.79, an increase of $1.72, while a 13 kg cylinders goes up by $1.86 to sell at $40.94. A 4.5 kg cylinder sees a 64-cent increase to retail at $14.17. Motor spirit increases by 11 cents per litre from $2.13 to $2.24. Premix sees a 10-cent hike from $1.75 to $1.85 per litre. Kerosene will be sold at $1.43 per litre, an increase of 15 cents. And diesel goes from $1.75 to $1.86, an increase of 11 cents per litre. Bulk gas prices increases by 13 cents, going from $2.51 to $2.64, and auto gas from $1.68 to $1.77, an increase of 9 cents per litre. The staff of the Fiji National University will be evaluated to ensure only the best lecturers are educating students. Education Minister Rosie Akbar highlighted this while speaking during the FNU Students Association Council meeting yesterday. Apinisa Wangarandovo reports.
The minister stresses FNU is receiving support from the government and should provide high-quality education.
VC will, in the next 6 months or so, will give me a staff audit. Do you have the right qualified your lecturers to teach you? Because without that, what filters down into your lecture rooms will have no effect.
Akbar says some graduates are not finding jobs because they've been misguided.
The role of any tertiary institution is to ensure that the courses that you offer to the students is sort of merges with the demands of the institution. I mean, how does management and a vernacular do justice to education?
FNUSA is working in close contact with the University Learning Teaching Committee, the University Registrar and the University Vice Chancellor in making sure learning teaching issues are resolved. That way that will help our students in their successful academia in the university.
The members of the council were reminded meeting today that they should have a positive outcome to reflect the role of the association in driving FNU. Apeni Sawangarandobu,